Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Bones mixtape, Garbage. Bones is an internet rapper. I was first introduced to his work earlier this year through the Teen Witch mixtape, and I have publicly stated through a certain social media platform that I think it's the worst mixtape of 2014. Mostly because a lot of the songs on this tape take inspiration straight from the Columbine shootings, which in concept isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, many artists over the years have tributed great tragedies in American history. However, in this particular instance, the execution was so lazy, boring, and uninspired that I couldn't help but feel that this project was merely just exploiting the tragedy. However, I did come away from this tape and other Bones tapes after listening to Teen Witch liking his aesthetic. Dark, atmospheric cloud rap with a southern trap-flavored flair. Something 3 6 Mafia fans can get into if they like their lyrics a little more spaced out, a little more glazed over, and with the production sounding a bit more modern. Somebody who's into Little Ugly Man, I think, can get into. But for me personally, the pitched vocals, the pitched down vocals, aren't really there to be so distracting. Bones really just delivers his straightforward, normal, regular voice. I've seen some people compare Bones to Young Lean too. However, it's really not that much of a comparison because I think Bones has been doing it longer. I think the tone of his songs is darker, more somber, more serious. His lyrics don't feel quite as absurd a lot of the time. But I understand how some people could just misconstrue Bones for just another internet MC, and at the end of the day, maybe he is, who knows. He does have the simple, straightforward trap beats, the emphasis on atmosphere. His deadpan and ice-cold delivery makes him feel a little lifeless and lethargic at times. There is the occasional gaudy use of auto-tune on this record too. And there are moments where Bones' lyrics sounds like he's just completely making them up off the top of his head while totally stoned out of his mind. And a lot of songs on this LP just end abruptly and are not that fleshed out. Most of the tracks on this project land around that 1 or 2 minute mark. The entire tape, even though it has over 15 tracks, lands around 30 minutes in length. Throughout Garbage, there are some glaring flaws. But in a lot of ways, this tape is actually what I would like to be hearing in the darker, moodier, underground side of hip-hop right now. This tape is actually almost what I would have wanted to hear out of that Space Ghost Perp album that dropped on 4AD a few years ago. Because even though in Bones' lyrics there are elements of current-day swag rap and braggadocio, money, violence, drugs, so on and so forth, there are some really depressing, dark, introspective moments as well. There's some conceptual tracks on here where, I actually think his verse is kind of clever, like on Linksys Broadband Router, where all of his lyrics have to do with internet, modern day technology. It's a little tongue-in-cheek, but still manages to pull together a very real, dark vibe. My favorite track in this line being URL blunts to my IRL face. And not only are there dark, dank, trap-flavored cloud rap songs on this LP, but there are also tracks that incorporate some acoustic guitar pretty beautifully. Like on the track Lay Me in the River, which has this guitar lead that sounds like some early Modest Mouse guitar lead. There's some real elements of self-hate in the lyrics that Bones brings to the table on this track. But as dark and as sad as his songs feel sometimes, it's very clear that he doesn't take himself that seriously. There is the song, If You Had a Zune, I Hate You, which is actually really more of a spooky black song where he's singing all over the track. It's actually one of the better recorded songs I've heard him on. I do not care for his Black Silk tape project, whatever. I don't think his vocals are that strong. I don't think the recording is that good. I don't think the beats are that great. To me, it's absolutely boring. But this song, in particular, I did find somewhat captivating, even though it did end short. And there are a few good collab tracks on here with some features from Xavier Wolf, as well as Eddie Baker. But even the songs on here that I like, they just tend to end really abruptly. Again, it's that brevity keeping a lot of the songs on this LP from really leaving a lasting impact on me, even though they may start well and they bring a good tone and vibe and maybe some decent lyrics to the table, but a lot of them just cut out a little too soon and I'm left wanting more. And even though I do like this project, that's kind of the overall thing. I'm just left wanting more, a little bit more in terms of the length of these songs, a little less filler, and a little more lyrically. As of right now, I think Bones is putting out some interesting stuff. I think he has a style. I think he has an interesting direction going for him, but I'm kind of left wondering if he really has the ambition to push his projects beyond projects like this. I don't doubt that a guy like Bones has the potential to put out a better project, but I'm kind of wondering if ambition is actually in the game plan for a lot of these internet rappers who just kind of seem to be putting out sort of apathetic, somewhat nihilistic projects. I'm feeling a strong 5 to a light 6 on this thing. Transition, if you've given Garbage a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Anthony Fantano, Bones, forever.